Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Terri Pace, your host. I'm a holistic health coach, and I teach people how to use natural solutions for their health goals and, other different benefits. I've been doing this for about 10 years. I have some really pretty amazing stories, and I love to share them with you. So during today's workshop, we're going to explore some of the categories of essential oils that help us with those health goals: to eat right, exercise, rest, and manage our stress. Right? I'll share some of my favorites within each of those categories. And we will get started first with kind of just like a basic review of what exactly is an essential oil and why would you want to use them. And so an essential oil is distilled from the plants, right? And what you'll learn today is there's kind of 5 different general categories: the roots, the leaves, the flowers, right? All different parts of the plant. And within those categories, we can discern some of the benefits that are associated with those particular categories, right? But an essential oil is basically chemistry, right? It's the distilled form of the plant where we release that aromatic chemistry and we liberate it from the plant material itself, right? So that the essential oil is produced by the plant for lots of different reasons. Not all plants produce an essential oil, right? There's only some of the thousands and thousands that we've cataloged that actually produce an essential oil. They do it to help protect themselves from environmental threats, to recover from microbial or fungal attacks, and sometimes to attract pollinators or maybe to repel pests. And so those 3 things, right? Protection, recovery, and communication, right? It's a communication device, right? We can help our intracellular communication, right, when we use essential oil. And so it's super simple to use them, right? You will simply breathe it in, right? Open the cap, breathe it in. You could put it in a diffuser if you have it, right? I tend to use the aromatic method when I'm looking to kind of improve the quality of the air, or maybe to impact my mood and support my respiratory system. We can use them topically, right? Just applying them to the skin wherever we want to interact with, like you have a bug bite, or you bruised your knee, or maybe you have a headache, right? You're going to apply it locally to that area. We can also put them on the bottom of our feet or the back of our neck for more targeted support. But this is a well-founded, well-studied method of applying essential oils. Sometimes we dilute them, right? There's lots of things that you learn as you start using essential oils, but it's super simple. The third way is internally. Now, the first thing I'll say is that not all essential oils are created equal, right? And so if you're going to be using essential oils, you should make sure that it's of the highest quality, right? I really want to kind of just take 2 minutes to deep dive into that, right? So the standard is certified pure therapeutic grade, right? And so there are different levels, right? There's that synthetic market, right? Then there's a food grade, then there's a therapeutic grade, and then there's the doTERRA standard, right? And so the plants are grown and harvested in their natural habitat, right? It goes through multiple internal and third-party testing, right? They have, somewhere over 50 different types of tests to assure the purity and the potency, that it's free from fillers or pesticides or foreign contaminants, right? And when you do that, you have some really amazing characteristics that essential oil, right, that messenger molecule, the aromatic chemistry, will have in its effect on your cells. And so what we're going to do now is kind of just break down what category, right, what are the 5 different categories, and within those categories, what are the general characteristics, and when would you use them, and what are some of my favorites within each category. So let's deep dive into that. So the first category is wood oils, right? This is made from the roots, the bark, the stems, sometimes it's resins, right? They're the base notes, right? They tend to be dense, heavier molecular structure, right? And so they are thick in the bottle. They're grounding and stabilizing to the nervous system, right? Think like the roots of a tree, very strong, very solid and stable, right? When that tree is properly rooted and grounded, it's able to weather the storms, right? And so the same thing for us. When we're having kind of an anxious moment, or you're feeling a little scattered or insecure, this will help ground you and make you solid and stable, right? They're all really good to support the nervous system, when maybe you're feeling a little, anxious and, not really sure of, what's next for you. Maybe there's some kind of storm or crisis going on, and you need to make better decisions by being really grounded in who you are and what intentions you want to bring to that event. Some of my favorites are cedarwood, copaiba, frankincense, patchouli, and vetiver, right? Individually, I'll use at least one or two from this category every single day. I will put frankincense and copaiba under my tongue right before bed, because they're really good to help me shut off that mental chatter, right? When I climb into bed, it's not about that I'm not tired. I'm usually pretty exhausted. I have a full day. But my inability to sleep is sometimes that, the mind is going and going. And so this really helps to kind of quiet the chatter, right? I like to put a little vetiver on the back of my neck, sometimes on the big toe, right? The big toe is where you have the amygdala. That's, your fight or flight response, right? And so, sometimes we just have to quiet the mind and feel safe where we are, so that we can get the adequate rest that we need. One of the other general characteristics of most of the wood oils are they're really good for pain. So I'll tell you just a little story, right? So Hippocrates, he was a Greek physician who lived, like 460 to 377 BC. He wrote that the willow leaves and the bark were able to relieve pain and fevers. And so over the years, the bark from the willow tree was used as a pain reliever, right? The bark contains something called salicin, which is, that has pain relieving effects. And it's also an anti-inflammatory plant compound. So what did modern medicine do, right? So we have a confluence of events, right? We have, so salicin is very chemically similar to aspirin, right? Acetylsalicylic acid, right? The aspirin we know came into being in the late 1890s. I think it was a chemist, his name was Felix Hoffmann in Germany, and he used it to help his father's rheumatism. And then beginning in 1899, Bayer, right, the makers of Bayer aspirin, distributed the powder to physicians to give to their patients, right? And so, when we have a natural substance directly from the willow bark tree, you can't patent it, right? And so in order to patent it, they created it synthetically. And so now the form of this truly powerful pain reliever is synthetically created so that they can own it and make a profit on it. So, many of the trees have this same kind of pain relieving chemistry. And so when we apply it, right, it not only calms our nervous system and helps us, when we're having scattered or wishy-washy moments, it's really good to help with pain. Now, what I love is that the founders of doTERRA have a mission to bring back plant-based medicines, to choose not to synthesize, adulterate, or dilute nature's chemistry, right? They want to source it in a way that provides therapeutic outcomes, right out of Mother Nature, where you can have reliable therapeutic results. And that CPTG standard that we talked about is how we do that, right? And so I just really kind of love using the doTERRA essential oils. All right, next is essential oils that are made from the leaves of the plant, right? It can include maybe the bushes and the grasses, right? All of the oils that are made from the leaves of the plant are very invigorating and stimulating. They're generally cleansing, right? They can be really good for the respiratory system. Think of the leaf of the tree as how the plant can, it helps the tree breathe. And so when we use an essential oil that is made from the leaves of the plant, we can also support our respiratory system, right? And not just our respiratory system, right? Like our lungs and our upper respiratory tract, but also cellular respiration, right? So you're going to grab a leaf oil when you want to help with easy breathing, when you want to maybe minimize some of the seasonal threats that might be around you. It's really good to help with alertness, right? Put a drop of peppermint on your hand, breathe that in deeply. I'm going to do it right now while we're doing this together. So you can immediately feel your airways open up, right? The vapor of the peppermint and the spearmint, the eucalyptus, right? These are all oils that, you know, as you breathe them in, you can actually feel it, you know, it's that cooling sensation, but it opens your airways and you can breathe much easier, right? It's also good for alertness and stimulation. Like I know that there are sometimes like after lunch when I have that food buzz going on and I have a lot more day left to go, I will maybe take a drop of the peppermint and put it under my tongue, or maybe just kind of turn the bottle upside down and take my thumb and press it to the roof of my mouth. Send all of that good oxygenation directly up into my brain, right? We know when we can oxygenate a cell, it's going to function better. And so I'm sending oxygen directly into my brain, and I'm helping those brain cells kind of open up the same way we open our airways. Some of my other favorite oils in this category are laurel leaf, lemongrass, nioli, right? These are also really supportive to the respiratory system. One of the other things that you can do with some of the leaf oils is, you know, they're natural pest repellents, right? Like, you know, the trees have the ability to repel pests. And so, you know, in here we have the eucalyptus, the lemongrass, and the peppermint as leaf oils. And then we have cedar wood, right? Where do you put cedar, right? You put cedar in your closet to keep away the moths. And then the arborvitae essential oil, the arborvitae tree falls and it doesn't decay because the bugs won't come and eat it. So it tends to just petrify. And so the indigenous people of that area will use that wood to make their boats and canoes, or maybe as a burial ground, like underneath the great trees that fall, they will have kind of tombs. So it's pretty cool that, you know, simply with a few drops in a spray glass with water, you just, you know, spray it on your skin and around you, and it keeps all the gnats and the mosquitoes and the bugs and the ticks all away from you, right? It's just repelling them away and, you know, not toxic. So that's the key. So that's first category is wood. The second category is leaf oils, right? So the next category is flower oils, right? So these are the oils that are made from the flowers of the plant. And I want you to think of like when someone gives you flowers, right? It just makes you feel warm and loved, and just, you know, it's like an aroma hug, right? It's very soothing and calming to the emotions. It helps us relax. They're really good for the skin, right? That restorative and healing capacity, like putting lavender on a bug bite or on an abrasion helps to take the angriness or the irritation away. And I want you to think about that, right? That, you know, it's good for the emotions that we feel, right? Anger, frustration, and, you know, all those other things. But it's also like, you know, we describe, you know, what's going on in our skin sometimes with that emotional kind of description. So it's really good for the skin. We find a lot of the floral essential oils in our skincare and personal care products, right? Things like lavender and rose and geranium are commonly found in, you know, face creams and body washes and things like that. So you're going to grab a flower oil when you are feeling anxious, when you're, maybe you've thought of something that triggered an emotion inside of you, and you really want to kind of let it go and just calm yourself down. My favorite is to use flower oils before bed, right? In combination with those wood oils, I wanted to help promote restful sleep. And some of the favorite ways that I do that, right? I can take some wood oils like cedarwood, sandalwood, or vetiver and combine them with a flower oil, right? Some of my favorite flower oils for bedtime is Roman chamomile, lavender, and blue tansy, right? These are really wonderful to help you get a good night's sleep. I will even have these bottles kind of right by my bed, so it helps me fall asleep. And then sometimes, you know, in the middle of the night, maybe you get up to go to the bathroom, or, you know, something wakes you up and you're really not ready to start the day. And so I will reapply these oils. I don't turn on the light or check my phone or do any of those things. I just, you know, have the bottles near my bed on the nightstand. I just open them up, put them on, and breathe them in. Sometimes put them on my chest, and I just fall fast asleep again. And then, you know, I don't have that period where you're up for an hour or two in the middle of the night that has you with this broken sleep. Right, so now we have wood, leaf, and flower oils. So our next category is the citrus oils, right? Citrus oils, like you'll find a lot of the you know, citrus scents in our cleaning products. That's because they're really good at toxic cleansing, right? They're really good at breaking down polymers. So, you know, obviously they're, you know, some of the synthetic cleaning products that are out there, you know, they're pretty toxic to us. And so they'll put in some really good smelling citrus oils so that it kind of masks the smell, but they are also doing a job, right? And so, you know, they're really good at being disinfectant, right? They're also mood uplifters, right? Did you ever peel back the skin of an orange, right? Like it sprays? Well, the essential oil is in the rind of the plant, not in the fruit. And so when we're peeling the rind, we're actually liberating that aromatic chemistry from the rind. And as it sprays in the air, you breathe it in and you're just immediately happy. Well, all the citrus oils are very high in something called D-limonene. And D-limonene helps your body produce some brain chemistry that makes you happy, right? It's your dopamine rush. And this is great when you want like a quick pick-me-up. They're very invigorating and stimulating. And so I love using citrus oils. I will put them in my diffuser or breathe them in to kind of shift my mood when I need a little pick-me-up. I will also put it in my water, right? So these are so good at cleansing the toxins that might be in our body, right? That we can just put a drop or two in each glass of water. And so over the course of the day, maybe, you know, you have 10 to 12 drops in your water. And so we're getting this antioxidant capacity, we're getting this mood uplift, and we're getting toxic cleansing, right? And so what a wonderful way to disperse the gloom and improve the protection from seasonal and environmental threats, right? Remember, cleansing is another way we use citrus oils, right? And so we're cleansing external surfaces as well as our internal body, right? And so when we're breathing it in, that cleansing property is going through the upper respiratory tract and doing its, kind of protection in an area that right now we could really use some help. Right, so here we go. Wood oils, leaf oils, flower oils, citrus oils, and our last category is what I call the Italians. It's the spice oils. Things like basil and cassia, thyme, rosemary, cilantro, like all of the oils that you would normally find in your spice cabinet that you cook with, right? All of them support that digestive function. Isn't it amazing that the plants that are tasty enough that we would want to flavor our food are exactly the ones that support that digestive function, right? They're powerful cleansing agents, and most of them are very warming, right? Like warming on the skin, which, you know, some of them are even hot oils where you definitely would want to dilute it, like oregano, cassia, or hot oils. But hot oils are also very unfriendly to some of the ickies in our world, both inside and outside. And so we're going to grab, you know, these spice oils when we want to have, you know, kind of digestive ease, maybe to improve our metabolic function, also to improve our immune function. And so I want to talk just a little bit about how they do that, right? And so, you know, we have On Guard, which is a collection of the citrus with their cleansing and mood uplift, their antioxidant capacity, the spice oils, right? It has clove and cinnamon, which are very hot oils, very unfriendly to things, and leaf oils of eucalyptus and rosemary to help open the airway, get good oxygen into our cells, and improve the function of many different systems. And so the On Guard blend itself has been tested lots of different times and shown to be more effective than some of the other things that, you know, we might use as a surface cleanser or a room cleanser, right? So how do I use On Guard? Well, I love that doTERRA created this kind of On Guard family of products. And so you could take them internally, right? They have them in these little protecting throat drops and little beadlets, so you can pop a drop. They help fight off germs and they help build your immune system at the same time, right? We have On Guard Plus, which is super simple. It combines 5 different essential oils like black pepper and oregano, right? So they're in the category of spice oils. They have, you know, all 5 oils of the On Guard blend combined with Melissa, right? So all of these kind of help us to build our immune system and help us to, you know, respond to any threat that might be around us. You could simply put it on the bottom of your feet every morning and every night to boost your immune system. And, you know, they have a hand soap so you can wash your hands. You have a sanitizing spray mist, so you spray your hands before you touch anything in the public. And they have a cleaner concentrate. And so I love using the On Guard family of products to reduce my exposure, right? I like using it externally, and to build my immune system, because we cannot completely eliminate all the germs around us. And so, you know, whatever still gets through, my body's going to have the ability to fight it. One of the things I want to mention is that it's super important to have a good digestive system, right? So like your digestive system is the one place, right? Your lungs and your digestive system are the places where the outside world comes into our body, right? Like we eat food, and so it comes in our body, and, you know, the walls of your digestive tract, that's where we have 70% of our immune response, right? Because they're on high alert all the time. Like, what's coming into my body? And, you know, is it a friend or a foe? Do I need to fight it, or do I need to integrate it, right? And, you know, your digestive tract, like if you laid it all out, it's probably like the size of a tennis court. Like that's how much square foot area that you have. And, you know, when we boost our digestive tract, right, we're going to have an increased function of our immune system, right? And so the oils that I love for digestive right, is that some of those spice oils, cinnamon, cilantro, fennel, ginger, right, and peppermint. Peppermint's also really good for the digestive tract, right? We have lots and lots of different medical studies that if you can get the peppermint directly into the intestines, you are going to have such an amazing experience at aiding any kind of digestive discomfort. So definitely oils to put on your list if you have bellyache. Now, we also have like my favorite oils for mental clarity and focus, right? And so we are going to use a citrus oil. Like you can use any one of them, whether it's tangerine, wild orange, lemon, like, you know, pick the citrus oil that you love, right? Because part of mental clarity and focus is about, you know, being more awake and alert, right? It's about stimulating brain function, right? Peppermint and rosemary are going to help bring oxygen and stimulate the brain. And then, you know, as we stimulate, right, so we need both. We need stimulation and grounding at the same time so that we're not overstimulated, right? We need that proper balance. And so, you know, you can pick any one from these categories, but when you combine them together, it's just amazing, like totally amazing. Another common use for the categories of essential oils, right, is stress and anxiousness, right? We know that using some of the leaf oils like clary sage and lavender, spice oils like basil, they actually help our body minimize cortisol. Now, cortisol is one of your stress hormones. And so when you're going through some kind of stressful experience, your body releases tons of cortisol to get you ready to go. And so we need, you know, some really good chemistry to kind of modulate that, to help mitigate and increase our ability to be calm, even though we have all this cortisol surging, right? And so I love using copaiba, frankincense, or vetiver, right? Combining a wood oil with some flower oils to really ground me and stabilize me, both from a nervous system perspective and an emotional perspective. And then, you know, open my airways, lift my mood, and then, you know, the stress and anxiousness I was feeling kind of peels away. So these are some of my favorite ways to use essential oils. You know, getting essential oils in your home is as simple as 1, 2, 3, right? And so with doTERRA, it's about just becoming a member, kind of like Costco. And there's only one requirement, right? You just have to order one thing annually, right? If you wanted to order it more regularly, you can, but there's no requirement. So just creating your account allows you to have 25% discounts on anything you purchase when you go in the store. You can get started by paying a $35 fee that gets you that 25% for a year. Or if you buy one of the kits, you can have that fee waived and have bundled discounts. So you can get, you know, anywhere from 3 or 4 products up to, you know, 10 or 20 products. There's, you know, 6 or 7 different starter kits, and you pick the one that works best for you. Once you have the products in your home, right, you can learn how to get them for free. You can learn how to share with others to create a supplemental income, or even create financial independence like I've done. And I used to work for the county, and about 5.5 years ago, you know, I had shared enough where I was able to create an income that I could retire when I was eligible. And so, you know, wherever you are, you know, whatever you're thinking of doing, you know, reach out. Like if you don't yet have essential oils, I would love to send you some, right? There are some great ways for me to help you. And so if you just fill out this form, right, you can just give me ways of contacting you. It's really just your name and whether you prefer, you know, like a text message or an email or whatever, what kind of interest that you have, right? You can also just simply text me or email me and tell me a little bit about yourself so I can send you an appropriate sample for whatever it is that you're going through, right? You can also reach out through any one of my social media channels, right? I'm on Eventbrite, which has a listing of classes. I also am on Facebook and Instagram. I have a Vimeo channel. Maybe you're watching this recording there. You'll find, 40 or 50 other health topics. And, whatever there is, that you're looking for a solution, there's an oil for that. And so what's next for this week? So our next topic will be to talk a little bit about cannabinoids and kind of the current trends, what we're seeing, and like to CBD or not to CBD. What's the answer? So that'll be during our Tuesdays at 2 with Terri. Our next topic is September 15th, 2020, and I hope to see you there. So thanks for joining us.